right, everyone. Hello and welcome back to It's Tea Time, the time that we're going to talk about traffic in your business. My name is Ingrid. I have a last name, Van Houwelingen. You can forget about that because usually another country cannot pronounce that. Welcome. Season 1, episode 3 of the Tea Time show, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk about traffic, like I said. If you remember, last week we talked about the dream customers, right? Uh, Basically, the dream customers. If you have your own product that you are trying to sell to someone, basically, then your dream customer is you a couple of years back. But if not, if you're trying to sell someone else's product, that you need to look into the core 3 markets that there are: the health, wealth, and relationships. We talked about that. Also, we talked about, are your dream customers moving away from pain, or are they moving towards pleasure? Because there's a difference in words that they use, and those words you can use in your marketing message to reach them. We also talked about whether they were searchers, so they had a real need. For instance, I have a hole in the roof. I need a roof fixer. That's something different than scrollers or searchers or people who are just want something. For instance, they're watching a game. All of a sudden, an advertisement comes by of a watch, and that advertisement is so good that suddenly they want a watch, while they didn't want a watch before. So there's a bit difference between search-based and interruption-based marketing. If you're saying, okay, I don't quite understand what she's talking about now, go see the last episode of It's Time, right? Episode number 2, we talked about this. So this week, we're going to talk about, okay, you defined your dream customer, but where are they? Where can I find them? Well, let's take a look at about 30, 40, 50 years ago, when there was no internet. Yes, there was a time when there was no internet. I know that time. I'm that old. What do people do then to reach other people, to make sales, right? They did things like door-to-door sales, right? All of a sudden you had people on your door trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner. I don't know. Things like flyers, right? So they put all types of written advertisement in your mailbox. But the problem with those types of advertising, or those types of marketing is that you only reach one by one at a time, or a few at a time if you have a shop. And advertisement becomes really expensive by then. So what you saw is that advertisement was only used for common products like soap, or I don't know, shampoo, or how do you call that? To do the dishes with, the soap that you need for that. Just an example, or a blanket. For those common things, advertisement was profitable because you got enough return, but not if you have something really specific. So then in the 80s, the internet became public for everyone. And what happened there is, what you see is that people come together. They form groups. They form what now is called communities. And the game of marketing then becomes, okay, well, where can I find these groups, and how can I add value or buy the ads into those groups? So that's what we're going to talk about. And it's called the Dream 100 strategy. Dream 100 is not a term that I made up. It's not even a term that this guy made up. It's a term of Chet Holmes, and it's from the book The Ultimate Sales Machine. I had to read that. Basically, the goal is to get people from "I've never heard of him" to "Who is that guy?" to I think I've heard of him. Yes, I heard of him. To the last step, I do business with him. So that whole know, like, and trust principle, that whole from cold to hot traffic, from cold to hot leads, that whole process is what described in that book. And that's what the Dream 100 strategy is built upon. Now, I'm going to differentiate just a little bit between high ticket products and lower ticket products. So high ticket products are the products that are thousands of dollars or whatever currency. And the goal is there to get a small number of big customers, right? If you want to reach if you sell advertising, for instance, you need a small number of companies to get your small number of companies who are big. So that's the big customers. So the strategy there for the high ticket ones is that you look inside your niche. You focus on who are the biggest companies there. The second is you have to let them notice you. So add value, basically. The third is you send a sample of your product to them and you follow up, and that's where the difference. You follow up with a call. So those are the type of people you do not keep on sending emails. You call them because they're the big customers, right? If you got those in, you got, bam, a lot of sales all of a sudden. So for the higher ticket products, it's a little bit different. But if you look at lower ticket products, where most of you guys are, the lower ticket products, the goal there is to have a bigger amount of customers, right? So what do you do then? So the first thing that you do, it's a list of about 6 points I'm going to say now. So you better write that down if you want to. The first thing that you do is you find the communities where your dream customer hang out. So how do you do that? If you remember what I said, your dream customer is you a couple of years ago, then what websites were you looking at? What forums were you reading? What message boards were you reading? What Facebook groups are you in? What influencers do you follow? What podcasts are you listening to? Who are you subscribed to when it comes to newsletters on your email? What blogs do you read? What YouTube channels do you watch? What keywords are you using to search? If you don't have a product that's not coming out of your own, but if you're an affiliate, for instance, then basically you're asking the same questions, but then you think, okay, who would my dream customer, where do they hang out? Who would they be? Try to get in their heads, try to find one, talk to him, find out where he's hanging out to, follow him, then you figure it out. So basically, if you know who your dream customers are, if you take Facebook, for example, you just type it in, affiliate marketing or lose weight or something. You don't have to create the traffic. The traffic is already there. The people are already there and they're coming together in groups. And that's very good news for you, because all you have to do then is know where those groups are, right? So take a look at their websites, take a look at their Facebook groups, follow them, get in there, get a member of those Facebook groups, right? Then the second thing that you do, because now you have contact with your dream customer, the second thing that you do is, who are those community leaders? So you're not looking at your dream customer who's in there, but you're going to aim for the leaders, or the influencers, as they are also called. That is what is called your Dream 100. Not your dream customer, it's the leaders of those customers. Okay? Or the influencers of those customers. So, and then for fun, take a look. Take a look at how much followers or how much subscribers or how much readers do those Dream 100 people have. Because that is your target audience. That is the total, right? If you, for instance, for a Facebook group I'm following myself, has about 23,000 people inside the group. That specific Facebook leader has 23,000 people inside his Facebook group. I'm inside that group, I'm adding value. So I have eventually a potential of having 23,000 dream customers. You see how it works? Okay, so you need to find the influencers, the Dream 100, the Facebook group leaders, the YouTube leaders, things like that. All right? Then, third, very, 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 very important, build a relationship with the owners of those communities. So get them to notice you, tell them who you are, add value to the group. You will definitely get noticed if you are being very active inside the group, adding value, responding to others, give suggestions. Maybe if they allow to even do a post, not a promotion, just a post there that could add value to their group. If you do that, they will notice you. Believe me, they will. So that's step number 3. Build a relationship with the owners of those communities. Then, after a while, not directly, after a while, you send them for free your product. And you ask them to promote it on launch day. You're going to launch a new product. For instance, I have a course that's coming up pretty soon. A course about presentation, whatever. I'm going to contact all those leaders. Like, hey, listen, I got this type of product. Would you be interested in this, and would it be of added value to your group, to your audience? Because the goal of your product that you're going to send them should be that it's for them to better connect with their audience. So it has an added value, for instance, right? Don't try to steer them. Just say to them, okay, well, if you like it, then tell it to your group. But if you don't like it, tell it to your group also. Because then for them, it's a review, a valuable review. I recommend this, yes, or I recommend this, no. It's a bit of a risk, perhaps, for you, but it will build a very good connection with your Dream 100 leader. All right? So don't send that product for free at first sight. Just ask them to help you promote it. Then, number 5, follow up. Remember, in the high ticket sales, that was a phone call. In the Dream 100, that will probably be an email or something. Yeah, sure, I will help you promoting your product. Would you like to come to my podcast and I will interview you? Say yes. Do not turn that down. All right? Or perhaps you are asked to write an article for in their newsletter. Say yes. Do not turn that down. They will promote you, but they're asking just for a little bit of how do you say that? Something that you can do in return for them, right? An added value in their newsletter, an added value in their podcast series. So do that. They become your promotional partners. So partnership is equal. Do that for them. All right? It will help you. They will promote you in their newsletters, in their emails, and etc. But you can do something in return also if they ask you to, and do that. That's my advice anyway. For the non-responders, step number 6. How far are we? Okay, I need to take a look at the time. For the non-responders, those people, for instance, no, let me put it this way. For instance, I am a total fan of Tony Robbins, right? And I want the people who are my dream customers are the people who follow Tony Robbins. So the dream customers are the people who follow Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins is the influencer, right? Now, I don't know if you know who Tony Robbins is. He's the number 1 guy when it comes to personal development. You cannot reach them to promote something for you. That is way, way too hard. You can be in your Dream 100, you can work towards it, but it will not work the first time, believe me. But what can you do then? So you've reached out to all those influencers, to your Dream 100 people, and some of them will not respond. What do? Well, one of the things that you can do, ask again, of course. And maybe it's not the right time, but a different time. But the other thing that you can do, and that's neat, is Facebook ads, if you want to, right? You don't have to. But if you are, then you can target the people who have an interest in that particular influencer. So, case of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins, people have put in their profile, I'm interested in Tony Robbins. Then with your Facebook targeting, Facebook ad targeting, you can fill in, I only want to I only want to reach people who are interested in Tony Robbins. And that's how you can, then you go to the dream customers directly and not via the influencer. Okay? So that's what you can do. Basically, the whole Dream 100 strategy is, if you do it via the influencers, of course you want to reach the dream customers, right? But you do that by going into a promotional partnership with the influencer, the Facebook group leader, or the YouTube king, you do that via the influencer. That's a very, very good way to get your list to grow, instead of people pulling in people one by one by only added value. So add value in the start, get noticed, and then use the influencer route to get more people into your group or getting to notice your product. Now you need to realize one thing. If you are a podcaster, right, then people who listen to podcasts. They are not the kind of people who like to watch Facebook Lives, for instance. Bloggers are people who like to read. They are not the kind of people who want to listen to a podcast all the time. So each channel that you use has a different group of audience, a different group of dream customers, and therefore also a different group of Dream 100 influencers. Got it? So if you want to use blogs as a way to reach out to people, you need to find the blog king in your niche. If you want to use YouTube, you need to find the YouTube master, whatever it's called, right? In your niche. If you like to do podcasts, you need to find the podcast kings in your niche. Okay? Remember that. Because if you are a podcaster and say, yay, I'm going to YouTube. Everyone, come to my YouTube. People will come if you start talking like that. Sure. And then all of a sudden your subscribers go like this, and then they're going back down. Why? Because people who like to listen to podcasts do not specifically like to listen to listen or look in a YouTube channel. People who like to blog like to read and not listen to or watch something. So keep that in mind. Now, what else? Yes, Dream 100 for shops. We call them brick and mortar companies. So the companies that have a room or a shop or a building somewhere, and they just cannot move. They want the leads online. They can get the leads online, but eventually those leads need to come into the shop, right? So online marketing, reaching people out globally, doesn't work. If your Dream 100 strategy, all of a sudden, for instance, if you have a shoe shop, I'm getting really good at this, by God, a shoe shop in England, for instance, in London, then via internet reaching out to all the number one shoe sales company in the world does not make a lot of sense because you are restricted by your geography because you have a building or a room that you rent, right? So what do you do then? You do not go for the Dream 100. You go the same route, dream customers. Where are they? They're local. So you are going not for national influencers or the national Dream 100. You go for the local Dream 100. Okay? So, for instance, if you have a juice bar, your dream customers are the people who want to get healthy, right? Then your Dream 100 are companies like local gyms, nutritional stores, health food stores, personal trainers, stuff like that. And those people, those local people, are the ones that you reach. And you go with your product. Hey, I got a new juice. Would you like to try it? And I'll send you a pack of 10. Give them to your people or your customers, and let me know what they think of it. Right? If they like it, say it. If they don't like it, let it say it also. So those are those things that you can do for when you have a shop or rent out a room when you are pinned to one location. So the challenge is to build your own Dream 100 list. You got your dream customer, you know where to find them. So write down the Facebook groups where they are, write down the websites that they are, what keywords are they using, all the stuff that we talked about in this episode, all the things that we talked about, write those down. Write also, if you have a Facebook group that you are following, who is the Facebook group leader? Remember, those are your Dream 100. Your Dream 100 are not your dream customers. They are the people who lead your dream customers. They will help you get sales faster than you can do on your own by targeting the Dream 100, the dream customer directly. All right. One more thing. Last week we talked about the dream customer who searches versus the dream customer who scrolls, right? The people who need versus the people who just want something. If you realize what Google is, if you for instance, how to find a plumber in Amsterdam. I'm just saying something. How to find a plumber in. The moment you type in how to find, you will see that Google is already giving you many options below that, right? So how to find a plumber, he will give you different types of options. A plumber in Amsterdam, he will give you different type of options. So you can realize that when you do that, the people who search for something, Google saves those search results, those search questions, not the results, the questions. So that's why all of a sudden you got all types of options, right? So a search is basically you join, at the moment you start a search, is you join a group of people who are searching for the same thing. That means that if you have defined your question that you have, your search question, and you press enter, you will get the results. That means that the people who have the same question have also done that and have also gotten those results and have also clicked. So press a click, not necessarily an advertisement, but the ones below that also. If you click those, then the group of people who were searching for the same gotten that result. That result, maybe it's a company who gives an answer to those questions of your dream customer. That could be one of your Dream 100 also. So you can also use Google, and you can use Bing and Yahoo and whatever search engine there is, because they are giving you those options when you search. Then for the people who scroll, right, then you have not people who are search-based, looking directly for an answer, but people who are interest-based. So what are the things they are interested in? Who are the influencers that they follow? What companies do they follow? What movies do they like? What brands do they like? What books do they read? All that stuff. So that is the start of your social network. You can start with your social network to find those answers. And that was what we were talking about so far. All right? So those are the people who have an interest in a subject. But the people who really search for a subject, you can find via the search, the URL bar where you type your question. And Google will help you to steer towards the people who did the same, which is a community also. All right? So write down the phrases of all the people. Oh, that's different. I'm just reading what I read here. When you are doing that search-based thing via Google into Yahoo or Bing or whatever, write down the phrases that you believe that people are asking. Right? So especially if you are an affiliate marketer and you're trying to sell something that's not yours, that means that your dream customer, you need to get into their head. Think, who would want my product? What do they want it for? What phrases are they using? And what are they searching for? What would they type out if they are searching for it? All right? So get in their heads. Get in their heads and find the Facebook groups. If you are an affiliate marketer, type in Facebook groups, affiliate marketer. If you are a blogger, type in Google blog king, and who knows comes up. And find those influencers, find those Dream 100 people, those leaders of your dream customers. All right, that's going to be your exercise. The exercise for this week. There's one more thing that you can do if you want to build a little bit larger list than just the people from your niche. Is look, your niche leaders are your hot leads, right? The people who are really tuned into, are really aligned with your product. What you can ask is, what other vehicles are people using to lose more weight, for instance, inside my sub-market? So if your market is health, your core, remember 3 core markets, right? Wealth, health, and relationship. Let's just say it's health. And your sub-market is lose weight. Then your niche could be lose weight with keto, lose weight with vegan, lose weight with bodybuilding, all those type of things. So if you have identified the dream 100 people of keto, your dream customer leaders, your dream customer influencers, then you can ask yourself, okay, what other things are people doing to lose weight inside this market, inside the sub-market of losing weight? Well, for instance, they do bodybuilding. Those people could potentially also be your dream customers. So what you get then is a list of all the niches, some depending on what country you're from. A list of all the niches that you are covering. So basically what you're doing is not only find the Dream 100 people, the influencers people inside your niche, but you can also go one step above that as is and find the Dream 100 people in your sub-market. Wait a minute, that's totally something different, right? Because then you're not restricted to one thing. Depends on your product, of course, but then you're not just restricted to one thing, but all of a sudden you got all the niches where your product could work for. If you have a little bit more, depends on your product. No, naturally, if you've written it specifically down for your niche, okay, then go first for your niche leaders. But if your program is also benefit for other people in the weight loss section, then go for the Dream 100 inside your sub-market. That will give you, because you cover all niches, then that will give you a bigger audience to go for. Don't go for wealth section. Don't cover everything, because people who are, if you take wealth, for instance, as an example, people who are into marketing and are not using funnels, for instance, or are not using real estate, or are not using sales as their sub-market. They're into marketing. So don't go one step back and reach towards the 3 core markets, because then your range gets too big. You reach too many people, but too many people are not interested. So start with your niche, go to the niche leader, and once you have identified that, and you still want to grow your list even more, go one step back and go for the Dream 100 in your sub-market. All right, good. Yes, I kept it within 30 minutes. Well, more or less 31. That's my aim every week. So, where am I getting all this wisdom from? I'm following this book, Traffic Secrets of Russell Brunson. If you're saying, okay, very nice, Ingrid, but it's just once a week, it's getting too slow for me. I want to find things out on my own. Send me a message. I will get you a link where you can get this book. Yes, it will be an affiliate link. I'm totally honest about that. But at least you can move ahead and move faster than what I am doing right now. All right? And if you're fine with the weekly segments and the homework that I'm giving to you, it's not homework. It's something that you need to do for your company. Defining your dream customer, defining where they are, because that will help you structure your mind and focus on taking action towards them. All right? Okay. I think I'm done for now. If you're having any questions, if you have other suggestions or where you can find traffic advices, let me know. Send me a direct message on Facebook. You'll find me. And otherwise, I'll see you next week. And what are we going to talk about next week? About, okay, if you have the dream customer, if you have the niche leaders or your Dream 100, how are you going to approach them? There's a very good strategy for that. We're going to talk about that next week. All right? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.